and welcome back. So it is episode 6. I can't believe we've done 6 podcasts. How crazy is that? It's gone so quick.
Yeah, we're doing not too bad, are we?
Tom's angry today.
Hold on, yeah, maybe. I'm
Why
not
are you angry?
Right. It's just manners. That's all I ask.
What's happened? Because we've just walked to the podcast studio. I've come upstairs.
A lot of people will
Tom.
agree with me.
I've come upstairs and Tom's just a raging bull. What's happened?
Well, I got off the bike, went into the gym, and then this guy just comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't normally get these here, those sort of people, but he was here today. He had his tank top on, he had old carpet arms, when they walk like that and pretend they're really big.
Yeah.
And he wasn't big. And then he just spat on the floor right in front of me and then tried to barge me.
Why?
I was on the phone at this moment in time, so I was like...
You're really angry, I can tell.
I was really angry.
Did you say anything to him?
No, I didn't. I was like, I wish I did, but it probably wouldn't...
Tom, you know my time. Why don't you just kick him in the head?
Yeah, I was thinking of my combo. Uppercut to the face. But no,
Right.
I'm a very peaceful person, but...
Tom has calmed down now.
I'm
So,
calm.
shall we... so, yeah, man, I'm calm. So, in today's podcast, this is going to be a really random one, but we are going to talk about all the jobs that we've had in our lifetime and how we both have managed to stay on track with our fitness goals, set goals, and keep a really good body composition whilst just going through life with loads of different jobs, because I've always had so many different jobs. I'm not just like, oh, I've never worked before. Like, I've had so many different jobs, and it's probably quite embarrassing talking about how many different jobs I've had.
What was the first job you had?
If we go all the way back, so when I was younger, me and my 3 sisters, so as you know, there's 4 of us in total, I used to do like child modelling. So like...
Of course you did.
Well, yeah, so like...
I used to do child
modelling, but like that's my childhood was literally, all I remember is just like going back and forth from London like with my mum, and we just, yeah, it was really good fun. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Modelling, eh?
Yeah, from a baby. I have like...
What happened?
Did you see... Well, I'll tell you what actually happened. I got to like a teenager. I started to get really spotty, like teenage skin.
Yeah.
I think I lost a bit of my confidence, and then like the modelling just kind of fizzled out.
Oh.
And then obviously when I started to get into the bodybuilding, then the fitness modelling kind of kicked in again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to start with you. What was, not like a baby.
So you was a model, yeah, for your first job. Guess what I done? I picked up fag butts.
How much did you get paid for that?
I think it was like £5 an hour.
That's pretty good for picking up
fag
butts.
Yeah, it was like, I worked for like 2 hours. How many fag butts can I pick up for 2 hours?
How old was you?
I think about 14, 15.
All right.
I saved up and bought my first Call of Duty game. Yeah.
Fair, good.
Yeah.
So what did you do after the fag butt situation? Did you get fired from it? Like, what happened?
Yeah, they let me go.
Why?
Picked up all the fag butts.
Did people stop smoking?
No, someone else
They started vaping. They didn't need you anymore.
Someone took over and was just like, we don't really need you anymore. I was like, why not? Those are fag butts. But yeah, that was my first job. And then my second job, went into bricklaying.
How was that?
That was quite cool, actually. I like that.
What did you like about bricklaying?
Well, at first, it was hard work, obviously. If anyone's a bricklayer. And the reason why I liked it is because I made it into my training. So I was like, every single day, I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to try and see how many bricks I can pick up.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was doing like deadlifts every single day.
It's very like repetitive. Did you find like your body adapted to that?
Yeah, I used to literally get up at like 6 in the morning, go and do like a full day's work, 12 hours, and then go to the gym, and then after that, go and play football.
Okay, nice.
So I used to just sit there and just eat all day as well. I actually loved that.
What did you used to eat?
Chicken, pasta, and mayo.
Nice. That is like a go-to for like
literally,
the quick
I just
food.
used to have like, I never tracked my calories back then. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I just literally just looked at it as training.
Yeah.
Looked at training, and I actually got I actually put on quite a lot of size from that.
Okay, why did you put on size?
Well, I was eating loads of chicken and baz doing deadlifting every day.
Lifting.
I actually made quite a lot of
bricks.
progress. I actually did. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was hard. And I probably got to a certain level as well where I was just like, it actually stopped me from growing as well.
How did it stop you from growing, being a bricklayer?
Because I was burning too many calories, and I just thought, I didn't really know what I was doing at that time. So I was like,
Okay.
why am I not growing? Simply, I was playing football, I was doing bricklaying, I was going to the gym.
Did you get a bad back from bricklaying? So I know a lot of people.
No, I didn't.
Do you get a bad back?
No.
Because you're a little bit hunched and you're...
Yeah. No, it's my deadlift form.
Nice.
No,
So
I think I might have got bad back, but I can't really remember. It wasn't that bad. Probably just like.
But
just
you're
normal.
saying like the training definitely helped you with your fitness levels to be a bricklayer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite
I
interesting.
mean, how old was I? I was about 16.
Yeah.
I was only 16. I'd done that for a couple of years.
That is when people do start to get into their training around that age. So
Yeah.
it's definitely.
So I mean, that's the positive side of things of doing manual work is you can stay lean for sure, and it's easier getting leaner, but it is harder putting on weight. That's what I will say with what I actually see with our clients as well.
Yeah, so what advice would you give to a bricklayer or someone that does a lot of manual work, how for them to put on some mass, put on some size?
Good question. So you got to look at the training volume. Are you doing too much in the gym? There's no good like working all day, doing like a 12-hour shift and then going and doing like 10 exercises, 6 sets, that sort of thing. So you have to really look at the volume that you're doing, but also as well just making sure you get enough food in as well. As simple as that. You're going to have to eat a lot more than someone that's sitting at a desk all day, for example.
Which do you think was your most physically demanding job, and how did that job impact your fitness? Can you think of anything?
It's got to be the bricklaying.
Was there any job that you've had that made it really difficult for you to stay on track with your fitness goals?
Yes, it's got to be the office job, and that's something that we see our clients struggling with as well.
Let's dive into this because both of us have worked in an office. What did you struggle with the most? And what did you do in the office? What was your job role?
Well, I was a salesman. I wasn't very good at it, but I was a salesman.
Why wasn't you very good at it?
Oh, it's just terrible. Yeah. One of it, I didn't even like getting on the phone, so that's not great. Not a great start. It was like my first sales job.
Did you have targets?
Yeah, every single month.
Did you hit those targets?
Yeah, I hit them somehow. I did do it. There was a couple of months where I'd done 2 months in a row where I didn't hit them. But anyone that works in sales, they know how stressful it is.
So do you feel like you're under a lot of pressure working in sales and then alongside this trying to stick to your fitness?
Yeah,
routine?
so I think sales is so hard where you need that mental... you have to be mentally on it all the time. And if you're like going into a prep or a fat loss phase, you lose it, as everyone knows. Like, especially if you're pushing hard into a prep or a show or even a photo shoot, you lose that little bit of focus and that little bit of brain power, that energy to convert those calls into sales. You really do as well. And everything just becomes a bit of a struggle when you are trying to use your brain.
And how did you overcome this? Working in an office, what did you do? Like, what was your structure to stay on track?
Yeah, so obviously anyone working in the office is the steps, the activity is the hardest thing, and it's unfortunately there has to be more effort than someone that's working on a building site, for example, or has more of an active job. And you have to be organised with it. That might mean getting up a bit earlier, which I did. I used to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, literally just go and walk on a treadmill for like 30 minutes because I didn't want to walk outside.
Do you know what I used to do? On my lunch break, working in an office at the university, I used to just walk around the Canterbury Gardens. Like, I used to just ring my sister and I would just do a lap on the phone to her, and I would just walk around like 5 times. And it helped. Like, it really did, because like you said, I was stuck on a desk all day, like sat down, and when you go from like an active job to suddenly sitting down, for me that's torture. I love being active. So
yeah, you got to make sure that your time management is on point. Like, for example, I've done the 30 minutes or even like an hour in the mornings. It means like getting up earlier.
You used to go to the gym, didn't you? Go on the treadmill, do your HIIT.
And then at lunchtime, I'll be like, right, I've got an hour's lunch, so I've done 30 minutes just walking around the car park.
Nice.
Or just up and down.
You don't think about it, do you? You just do it.
No,
if you've got to get those steps in, be active, that's what you've got to do. And I think sometimes this is just, it's your mindset. You either want to do it or you're just going to sit down all day and then wonder why you're piling on all this weight. Yeah,
and the thing is as well, what people got to realise as well, like, if you're overweight, you have to have a sacrifice. You have to make a change to get to those goals. You have to, because that's the reason why you're fat. You simply weren't making those sacrifices. So you have to make those little sacrifices in order to get your goals. But what I always say is that's not always forever as well. Like, remember that, like, getting up extra early, smashing those steps. Like, once you're down into a body fat percentage that you're happy with, then you can go back onto maintenance. So that might mean moving a bit less and eating a little bit more. So it doesn't have to be so extreme all the time. Once you get there, it's easy to maintain.
Shall we move on to kind of like your nutrition? So when you worked in an office, what was you eating? How did you prep your meals?
So yeah, working in an office unfortunately means eating a little bit less because obviously the activities is not as high as I was working in the building trade.
Depending on what phase you were on, of course.
No, generally it was like if I looked at me working on a building site compared to obviously sitting in an office, I just wasn't eating as much obviously because I wasn't burning many calories.
Okay, and what sort of food was you eating?
Well, it's like crappy food really. My carbs were pulled down, and I used to just put loads around my workouts. So,
what did you have? What was
oats,
your go-to?
My oats were my pre-workout. Cocoa Pops, as everyone knows, was still my post-workout. But that's what I used to do.
Do you know what I always remember you doing? You just having a big Tupperware full of pasta. That's what I remember you doing: chicken, pasta, and mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's when to be fair, that was when I was growing though.
Yeah, that's what I remember. You always used to have that.
Yeah.
So when I obviously worked in an office, I would prep my meals at home, or if I didn't prep my meals because I was just purely being lazy, I would go to Tesco's. But what I would get from Tesco's, I would always go for like tuna, or I would go for the cooked chicken, or I would have a salad. And again, I think this all comes down to mindset, because you can have two options. I could go for like the bag of crisps and chocolate and a ready-made sandwich. That could be my lunch every day. But in my head, like I knew that wasn't going to help me towards my body composition goals. So it was always get your good protein in, whole nutritious foods, go for the fruit. So yeah, I think when you're working in an office, it's really just understanding, go for good quality, nutrient dense foods rather than the easy option. And I think that comes under prepping your meals, being prepared. But I'll tell you one thing, I remember I had salmon in an office. It completely stunk out the whole office and everyone hated me. I didn't care. I literally did not care. I was like, I'm gonna eat the salmon. It did really smell.
Yeah. Working in an office, it can be really hard, or it can be a positive thing as well.
Let's talk about the hard. So why do you think it's really hard working in an office?
One, you got to deal with people you don't like.
One, give me another one.
Two is the activity, isn't it? Like I said earlier, it's the step side of things.
And I would say, when I worked in an office, right, we had this desk at the back of this, like the square office, there was a desk, and everyone would like, there would be cookies, there would be donuts, there would be like biscuits. And like, I was like prepping at the time, so I couldn't have any of it. But I remember I'm not going to say it annoyed me, but like I just knew it was there. I'd turn around, colleagues would get up and they'd be cramming thousands of calories in, just sitting there eating all these calories. And I know they weren't exercising. I know
office culture.
I really think the office, yeah, if you work in an office, like I completely get how hard it is because I've done it, but obviously I've got the discipline and I know this is what we're trying to train people to have in office environments.
Yeah, what I will say is like what normally happens is a client will join us and they'll be like, I'm in an office and people around me are like just eating crap.
Yeah.
And then, that person then is taking their meals in. They can see that people around them see that they're getting healthier, they're getting fitter. We see it where the office starts to join in, or they even join the program.
Yeah.
Because what we do, eating well, exercising, and changing that mindset, that's like infectious. It really is. And people will gravitate towards it. You'll get some twats where they're just like, why are you eating that for? Shouldn't you be drinking too much water? All those sort of people.
That's it, yeah.
And you just got to ignore those sort of people. They'll probably never change, or they might join you. But I always say, lead the pack.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I love that. I love that saying. It's like you lead the pack.
We say that a lot, don't we?
At first they'll laugh, then they ask, and then they copy.
That's it.
So yeah, lead the pack. If you are struggling in that office, it might be hard now, but I guarantee if you keep going and making that progress, they will join in.
Yeah, I always remember when we did a challenge a couple of years ago and we had someone that worked in an office, and then before we knew it, we had half the office on the challenge. It was brilliant. Yeah. And they all did amazing because they were all so consistent and they were very competitive with each other.
That office was shredded in the end.
Which job was you most busiest in, and how did this affect your training schedule? So bearing in mind, this is before we started our online coaching business. Can you think of any job?
Probably my PT, to be fair.
Okay, let's talk about that. So you actually moved to Malta. You've lived in another country, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And what did you do? You was a PT in Malta.
Yeah, so at first, I don't do any PT anymore.
Why?
you know why I don't do it? It's because I done so much of it. In the end, it took the fun out of my own training. And this is why I was about to answer your question, is it's like,
Yeah.
when you first start off, you're like, right, get clients in, and you just work the gym floor for like 12 plus hours, like crazy amount of hours. And then you finish, and then you got to motivate yourself. Like, PTing is hard, like trying to keep that energy, because it's what you do. You don't want them, and you don't want to lose those clients. So you can't just turn up like text on your phone, which some PTs do. But like, you want to keep that high energy through your whole, like every single session. In the end, I just couldn't do it. Do it. Maybe I just done too much altogether, and I just like fell out of love of PT. I'll be completely honest.
When did you get that love for it back?
When I moved to Dubai, actually, I had a couple of clients there.
Yeah.
Fabio, my man, had a good couple of clients there, and that's all I had was 2 clients there. And I mean, obviously the rest was all online. That was nice.
Yeah.
2 clients. So people will probably say, that sounds absolutely amazing. But you just got to make sure that you don't just do too much, and you have to put yourself first, which sounds crazy, because remember as well, taking a back seat on your own health, people will see it, and maybe you'll lose clients in that as well.
Do you know what that really reminds me of? We've had a few clients that are current PTs, and I would go through their like daily schedule, and I'm like, girl, you're doing way too much, like you're burning yourself out, and they don't realize it. They don't. So you do definitely have to look after yourself first before you can help others. Otherwise you're just gonna burn yourself out. And like, I've done that before. I've done it so many times.
Yeah, and the thing is, PT is so hard as well, because everyone's a PT these days. Everyone is. Everyone's got cheap prices, and you're trying to compete, and just like, if you say no, they're going to go somewhere else. But end of the day, if you're giving like a good service and you're knowledgeable, you'll keep on picking up those clients, especially if you look good as well. Simple. No one wants a fat PT.
Have you ever worked a job where your co-workers have tried to influence you and to pull you off track from fitness?
Yeah.
Okay,
work with like my mates in the
Go
office.
on. How is it working with your mates?
To be fair, I was probably an influencer at that point as well. But yeah, I worked in the sales environment with pretty much my mates. It was just going to work every single day, and it was just carnage.
That must have been so fun, though, working with your mates.
Yeah.
I worked with one of my best friends, and I loved it. It was such a fun time.
I will say, in that time when I worked with them, we went out like 5 days a week. We were influencing each other.
Right.
And I made no progress.
Okay.
Definitely went backwards in my training.
Okay.
And then...
But why was that? Just because you're...
I had to work with your mates. I was like 21 years old. It was just carnage.
So you were just kind of like not in routine, not sticking to your consistently training.
Yeah, wasn't no food, just out drinking.
Yeah.
And then the actual company went bust. That might have been due to us all working together. But anyway, that was probably quite a good thing, to be fair, because then I could actually just I pulled myself away, focused on my training, and then took it seriously, and then I progressed. So yes, who you work with definitely plays a huge role in your progress, for sure.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with the wrong people, it can be very hard to get out, and sometimes you're like looking and going, what's going wrong? Well, it's the culture of that office as well. Is it like, they're drinking all the time, all that sort of stuff will pull you down. So it can be hard, but you've got to be strong in it as well to say no.
And that's the thing I noticed as well from like a few clients. They were coming off track, and I was like, okay, but why are we coming off track? And what actually happened was they would have their office, they'd go to work, and then afterwards they'd all be like, let's go for drinks somewhere. And then I would go, right, that's where you're picking up these extra calories. So it then came down to that person just to be that little bit more disciplined in this fat loss phase, to go, look guys, I will come with you, but I'm going to have like a Diet Coke. I'm not going to drink pointless calories. So again, we get it. We've seen all the scenarios. We know all the tricks of the trades.
Yeah, it can be really hard for someone as well, like when you're saying, I'll have a Diet Coke. Because when you're in that environment, no one wants to be that person. I get it as well when you're there and everyone's just like, oh, I'm just going to have a Diet Coke.
That was me.
Yeah, I know,
I was that person.
But 100%. But for a lot of people, that's what they struggle with.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they really do struggle. For me, I struggle with that back in the day when all my mates were like, oh, you're going to have it. But then in the end, I was like, it's a repetition thing.
What did the guys drink? Beer?
Beer,
Beer, yeah.
Beer it's a repetition thing of saying no. Like the first time it's hard and it's a bit like, oh, and they look at you like, what the hell? But if you keep saying it,
Yeah.
not saying like every time, saying no every time, but, you know, make it like an event. Like go and have a drink on like a special event, not like every single weekend. And that's when you'll progress. But like I say, if you make it a repetition thing of just saying no, they'll be like, all right, okay, respect your goals. And they will. And then that's how you're going to progress as well. If you just, in the end, just keep saying no, it will get a lot easier.
Okay, I like it. Do you want to go? No. No. You, Tom, ever feel restricted in any job that you had where they would literally go, nope, you can't go to the gym because you've got work to do?
Oh, God, yeah. I used to hate working with people. Working for people, not with people.
Okay, good. Who did you used to hate working for?
Oh, should I call their names out?
Yes. Spill the
no,
tea.
to be fair, any
Spill
boss, to be fair.
Tea.
It wasn't
Spill
actually just due to
tea.
them. It was,
okay,
it was just asking someone, can I go? Like, if I want to go, I want to go. That's why I probably didn't work that very well working for people.
So do you know what I did? So let's go back. I had a job where I was a receptionist in a hotel, and I used to love going to these classes. So I would do a body pump on like a Monday, and then on a Wednesday I would do like a body attack, and I would literally move my shifts around just so I could go to those classes. And I know a lot of people would be like, oh, like I can't make it 'cause I'm working. Like I always in my life would always put fitness. I would always make it work. Like no matter what happened, I would always make it work. I feel like you either just want it or you don't.
It can be very, very hard though when someone actually has a set job like 8 till 5 or 9 till 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
It can be very, very hard, and that's unfortunately that's where that time management comes into play. You know, you've got to make that decision. Do you get up early in the morning? Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. But what would be even worse if you're overweight? Your health's taking a battering as well. So it's your choice. You know, do you get up early? Do you go to the gym at night? There has to be a certain sacrifice because you can't just sit there on your ass all day, every day and look to improve on your health.
So do you know what happened when I was working at this hotel? I used to get a backache. Basically, I was a hotel receptionist and I would have to stand behind this desk for like 8 hours and kind of like not move from that spot. And I used to get a really bad back. And that actually then went on to like affect my training a little bit because my back would just get so sore. And then in the end, I was like, screw this. Like, I'm going to go get a chair. And I would get a chair and I'd go sit down. And I'd have to sneak when the managers would come in. I'd be like how stupid is that? Like looking back.
Was that the worst job you had?
What is the worst job I've had? Do you know I worked for Royal Mail?
That's the one you got sacked.
Well, hang on. I was a Christmas temp. I had a cousin that worked there, and I had 2 aunties that worked there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to apply. And I did a Christmas temp twice in 2 years. And I would I would sit there. And I would literally I'm just sorting out the mail. I'm picking up parcels. I'm like throwing them. But yeah, I did done that job. And I did like the night shift as well. And I felt like if you work nights, that really did fuck up my routine.
Ooh, yeah.
I was so tired.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sleep throughout the day, reset your body clock. And then by the time your night shift comes again, like your body clock's all over the place. And I also found that really like upset my digestion. Normally I'm like, my body clock is like, woohoo.
Yeah, we see it a lot of our clients. If you work shifts, it's tough. But
shifts are hard work.
But what we've done with our clients is basically just realize and tell them what's going on, because what a lot of people do, they just ignore how their body is or how they're feeling. So for example, you're doing a day shift and then you've got to transition onto that night shift.
Yep.
That will cause cortisol to go boom.
It did, massively.
Like that. And then with that, what can happen is we're going to see like increase in weight. They're like checking, I'm like, why is my weight going up? I'm like, well, your sleep quality is absolutely terrible. Digestion's gone to shit as well because of this night shift. It's very hard, but if you manage it right, for example, what you can do is when you're transitioning into that night shift or day shift, you've got to pull back within your training. Maybe even have like a few days rest, allow your body to recover, get used to what's that transition again. Because if you just keep training through, that's when you're going to run into issues. And it can affect muscle growth, it can affect weight loss as well. So if you manage it correctly, it can be done, and it become quite easy as well how you can do it.
Did you work any night shifts at all? Did you do anything like that?
No, I like sleeping.
They were brutal.
I can't do night
Like,
shifts.
hats off to anyone that does night shifts. They're tough.
Yeah, we've had quite a few police officers as well. We actually had some police officers that worked night shifts. That did
they
prep.
were insane. They both looked so good as well.
Yeah, but we had to manage it. It's it actually had a lot more food in their program than someone that which works day shift, for example, because obviously they're burning more calories, they're staying up longer. So you have to take those sort of things into account as well when you are designing the plan for someone that works night shifts, day shifts as well.
What was the unhealthiest work environment you've been in, and how did you navigate through this?
You're talking about mentally, aren't you?
Oh, we could go mentally, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll talk about physically anyway. I'll just tell you my worst job ever.
Go on.
My brother,
Yeah.
he stitched me up.
Okay.
So he actually went to Thailand.
Yeah.
Went travelling around Thailand. He was like, "Oh, Tom, can you take over my job?" This was like in the summer months. And I was like, yeah, no problem at all. So he was like, went away for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think he like broke up work like a week early. And I was like, that's strange. Why has he done that week early? But it turns out that Josh, my brother, he knew that there was a loft installation about to happen. Basically, he worked for like a building company. We're like, "Oh, Josh, can you do loft installation?"
Okay.
He was like, "Oh no, I'm going on holiday." So I had to fill in with him. Had no idea what this thing was. If anyone's done loft installation, it is the worst thing in the world. Do you know what that is?
Is it where you have to climb up into the roof and lay the flooring down?
Yeah.
Spiky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I'm
nice.
pretty wrong, but it's made of like fiberglass.
Yeah,
so
spiky.
It's like itchy, it gets in your throat,
Yeah.
and you have to lay it. And bear in mind, it was August. It was
Right.
super hot. I had to put a suit on. I had the duct tape all round here, all round my eyeballs as well to stop the fiberglass going in.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. So, Josh, if you are watching this, I hate you because it was literally the worst thing ever.
How did this affect you?
Mentally, yeah, it scarred me for life. I didn't want to do it ever again.
How did it affect your fitness levels?
What are you talking about? Like I had fiberglass all in my mouth.
So you just... Did you feel like really tired? Your body felt fatigued. This then affected your training?
I just felt fucked. I was laying at loft installation. No. If anyone offers you a loft installation, don't do it because when I get paid, I got paid like £50 as well.
That's not bad.
No, trust me, I wouldn't. No.
So that is the worst job out there.
That was the worst job ever. So if anyone does loft installation, they know how bad it is.
Okay. Apart from obviously this job that we do now, what's been your favourite job and why?
This?
No, I said not this one.
Oh, you can't put this one. Probably the fag butts. It's quite nice. You just put my music in my ears, just pick up fag butts.
Do you know what, speaking of that, so going back to one of the jobs that I've had in my lifetime, I stacked shelves at Sainsbury's whilst I was at university.
Yeah, I know, I remember.
I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad job. I would put my headphones in, and it was like, to me, it was like very therapeutic. So I would no, but I'd be in the zone for hours. Like, no one would talk to it. A few people would be like, "Where's this?" And I would go, "Down the aisle." But I found that really therapeutic, and I tracked my steps every single shift. I was doing like 20,000 steps.
Yeah, you got shredded.
I was walking. You're constantly walking around the supermarket, constantly walking. So going back to like jobs, I always feel like if you've got a really kind of active job where you're allowed to walk around, that's going to help you much more, I think, stay on track. Whereas if you're sat down at a desk job all day, like I did in the office, you have to find that willpower, that discipline to get up and move. And sometimes, like the receptionist job, you're not allowed to move. You have to literally stay in one place. Yeah. And that's tough.
Yeah.
I get it.
Office job is definitely, from our experience, clients who have office jobs struggle the most. They really do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They really do, 'cause especially like in like UK winter months as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exactly inviting to get up early in the morning when it's pissing down with rain.
It was horrible.
Dark, and in the evenings it's all dark again. When you move into the summer months, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But what I'd say to you is, if you have an office job, make it easier for yourself. Get like a walking pad. Get up in the morning, smash those steps out, come back, have a walking pad. If you haven't got one, like you're literally just making things real difficult for yourself.
You know what people are doing now? You can ask your boss to put the walking pad under your desk, lift, like what we have at home, lift the desk up, and you can do your steps. I know Philippa did that.
Yeah.
You have to really focus on your nutrition.
Yeah, unfortunately, more than someone that's active.
If you're sitting at that desk and you're just eating cookies, eating just crap, chocolate crisps, nothing that's going to give you that nutrient value.
You get fat.
You do. You will. We see it a lot. Isn't you a waiter?
Yeah, so I had an interview to be a pot wash.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to be a pot wash. I wanted to be a pot wash. And I just wanted to go in there and just wash up and just go home.
There's nothing wrong with pot wash. I've done pot wash before.
Yeah. I just wanted to be a pot wash. Just wanted to go in there, wash up dishes and go home. And then they were like, oh, no, you need to be a waiter. I was like, what? Why have I got to be a waiter?
Yeah.
And they were like, you'll like it. I hated it. I hated it.
Why did you hate it? Because it's not the
I think
worst job.
at the time I didn't have a lot of confidence. I don't think dealing with people. I think I was around about 19.
Some people can be.
I was just a nerd. Just played a little Call of Duty.
People can be sassy, can't they? Like, give me my dinner.
Yeah, I was just wasn't very confident at the time, and they were like, "Oh, you have to go and take an order," and I was like,
so,
and my writing's so terrible as well. So I'd write it, forget what they say, give it to the chef, give it to the chef, and he's like, "What's that?" So I'd have to go and do it again.
Yeah, so me and you have the same problem because when I was like 15 or 16, I was also a waitress, got demoted to pot wash. We spoke about this. There's nothing wrong with cleaning, but I hate it. I hate it so much. And my sister Rhiannon was the chef. So wherever Rhiannon worked, she would manage to like help me get a job as like a waitress, but I was useless. Yeah. I just really wasn't good. I couldn't remember anything.
Yeah, no.
And I'd bring the plates out and I'd have to like run back in and say, Rhiannon, what is it?
I remember just picking up some plates and I would have to go and take them into obviously where the pot wash was working.
Yeah.
And I'd take them in and I'd run into and hit the wall. So I gone through, the plates just fall on the floor. It's like,
I remember I was doing a bit of waitressing. It was summer, and I had like 3 plates on my hand. Don't know why, I should have had 2. And one was like a bolognese, and it was scorching hot. And I was burning all of my wrists, and I put the plate down and I threw it on this woman because it was burning my wrist. And from that on, she didn't give me any more shifts. That is why I got demoted to pot wash.
She's like, all right.
Rhiannon was like, "What the fuck did you do?"
Just threw the spaghetti on both.
I threw the bowl of spaghetti on her. I was burning my wrist. It was really painful. So then, obviously, I was pot washing. There's nothing against pot washing, but it's hard work.
Pot wash.
I just remember...
You said that 2 times. Nothing bad about pot washing.
No, I'm traumatised from the pot wash. And then, like, after that, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not doing any more shifts. I couldn't. I hate washing up. You know I hate washing up. I hate it.
Going back to fitness, I think...
we got sidetracked.
Yeah, we got sidetracked about pot washing. With your job, it has like a huge influence on you for sure, or if you let it.
Yeah.
You know, for example, people will argue, I've got an active job. Oh, I can't build muscle because I've got such an active job. Mm-hmm. The ones in the office, I can't lose weight because I'm sitting on my arse all day. Like
we've done it.
There's always something that you can argue against.
We've been through it.
Yeah,
we know the drill.
You know, exactly. We've done both things. You know, I worked a crazy active job. I've done where I was sat on my arse all day, struggled to get 3,000 steps.
Yeah.
But that was because, you know, my time management wasn't good. I wasn't organised. If you are organised, you can make it work either way, whether that's having to eat more food or whether that's to get up early in the morning, get those steps in or go to bed a little bit later. You know, if you want it, you can make it
That's
work.
What I was going to say to you. What would you say to someone that really struggles with time management? What would you say to sort them out?
So when someone says, I struggle with time management, it comes down for you to plan it, you know, and sticking with it as well.
Or working with your coach to...
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it comes down to that person as well. Like, we set something, it's you to execute.
That's it,
You know, for example, a client goes, right, okay, well, I start work at 8 o'clock in the morning and it takes me an hour to get to work. Well, fortunately, you've got to get up like a couple of hours before. So you've got to, you can get it done.
You've got to set that alarm, get up early. And do you know what I find? Like, once you're in that routine, your body clock starts to get up at the same time. So if you get up, you have to be at work at 8 and you get up at 6 to do your exercise. After like a week or 2 weeks, your body will naturally adapt and it will get up at that time. And that's happened to a lot of clients, and they're up. Like, obviously we're in Thailand, we're 7 hours ahead, and I can see when my clients are up. I can see on the app. I can see they're awake.
Absolutely mental, by the way.
I'm like, yes, start the day.
Some of them are like up at 3:30, like morning. Like,
half 3, half 4. That's
yeah,
wild. Go to bed. You should not be up that early.
But if you want it, you have to make that sacrifice. You can't just expect the results to come to you.
How did you manage stress at work alongside your fitness goals?
I think a good one to talk about was probably when I was working in an office and I was working with all my mates. That was hard. I'll be honest. That was really hard because they expect you to keep coming out 5 days per week. Yeah. And I'm like, I've got a show in 20 weeks. I can't be the fat kid on stage. I'm very competitive, so if I had to do something, I want to win. So, I had to take myself away from them. Like, they'd be like, you coming out? Like, it'd be like a Monday. Like, and it'd happen every day. You coming out? Like, no, I'm not coming out. Like, literally, I would just take my stuff, my gym stuff to the gym, to work. Nice. And then I'll go straight to the gym from work. Because if I didn't take my stuff, I knew they'd be like, let's go to the pub. You haven't got your gym stuff. Like, they were that people. And I'll be honest, I was quite weak at that time as well. So, if I didn't take my stuff with them, I'd be going to the pub. So
okay, nice. So that was your kind of tactic.
Yeah.
Bring your gym stuff to work.
Go straight there.
And that will set you up
Don't go home.
Yeah. Okay. So that you go to work, from work straight to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go to work and then you come home and you sit down
and you can't be bothered.
And it's dark, it's cold, it's pissing down with rain, there is no way you're getting up. Especially if you're weak that day as well and motivation's low, you're going to sit there like, oh, God.
I remember that.
Get your gym stuff to work and go straight to work.
Do you know what I used to do? I would finish work at the office. It would be dark UK, gloomy weather. And I remember just having my pre-workout at work, and then that would like pump me up and I'd be like, I've got to go to the gym. Turn the music up in your car. I remember I had my car at the time. Music, pump it, and you just got to get in the zone. Because I knew if I went back to, that's me in the car, like how I would dance. I'd be like, if I would go home, sit down, I would really struggle to get back up.
There's no way.
Especially, we know what it's like in the UK. It's dark, dull, dungy weather. It rains. You don't want to move. You just want to get your pajamas on. I get it. We've been there, but it was willpower.
Take your food with you for the whole day, including your pre-workout. Drink it on the way to the gym, or whatever. Eat on the way to the gym.
Yeah,
get it done.
I feel like a massive factor for me for staying on track was prepping my meals at home, bringing them to work. In any job that I've ever had, I would always prep my meals at home, take them to work. I feel like if you don't do that, you are setting yourself up to fail, because what are you eating all day? What are you tracking all day? You're just guessing, aren't you? You're just guessing.
Yeah, you got to prep. As simple as that. What we say to our clients is prep on the days of your rest days. Because if you're a busy individual and you work 9 to 5, you're tired when you come home. Especially if you weren't gone to the gym that night or even that morning, you're prepping your meals and you're just like, oh God, it's just most likely not going to happen when you feel tired. You come back from a day's worth of work and after the gym. So, for example, prep your meals on your day of rest. For example, a Sunday, and your next rest day will be a Wednesday. Prep them to those days. So you're not setting yourself up to fail if you're not prepping them. So yeah.
So do you know what I used to do, actually, thinking of prepping meals? So I used to work at Gatwick Airport, one of my many jobs that I've had. Again, Rhiannon was the chef, and she managed to get me a job at like the deli counter. So I was like prepping all of the salads. I used to take the right piss. At lunchtime, I would get a plate. I would make myself like a massive baguette, chicken. And I would have like loads of salad. But alongside that, I was doing my training, and
I thought you better say alongside that I was having a salad. So it's
oh
all right.
no, I was. No,
Counter as it.
but no, I would make like this unreal baguette, chicken baguette. I'd put like all these like, it was unreal. I love that. That was the only reason why I like working there, because I got to eat all the salad food. And I would make it myself, so it'd be like all these like roasted peppers, avocado smash. I loved it. Yeah, so I used to. I loved that job, but then I hated it because I had to clean.
You hate cleaning.
Had to mop the floor. It's like not for me. Tell
I
us.
worked in a gym for old people.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? So did I.
Oh, yeah, I know, but like I was 19 at the time. Bless them. I was helping them onto machines, getting them off the machines.
Yeah.
It was quite a nice job, to be fair, because you actually see them actually progress.
Nice.
But bless them, yeah. I was pretty much a carer, thinking about it.
Yeah,
Literally, I just to get them off the machine, just sit down and talk to them.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
So I worked.
It wasn't actually that bad.
I worked at Christchurch University's sports centre, and then in the morning they would have the OAPs that would come in and use the gym, and I would just go through like exercises with them. What is this? This is me doing a lazy dancing lateral raise. But yeah, that's what I used to do, and I really enjoyed that. And I used to like the older men, women, like they would tell me their stories of their life. I love that. I thought that was really sweet.
Yes.
Did you experience any burnouts throughout your jobs that you've had in your lifetime?
Yes, this one.
No, apart from this one.
Well, no, this one though. This was the one that I mentally.
And
for sure.
why did you burn out?
I think it was when we first began.
Yeah.
We took on a lot of clients.
Yeah.
In a short space of time.
Yep.
And we're like, it'll be fine, because we didn't. Now we know what our limit is.
Yeah.
And we now, when we get to a limit, we say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say no more.
We don't
But
have
when we first started, you don't know what that limit is.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, back then, about 8 years ago when we started this, no longer than that.
Yeah. Longer than that. Like 10.
There was no coaches out there, so competition was very low, and you could pick up clients very quickly. And you're just like, all right, yeah, another one, another one. And, we don't want our service to drop.
Yeah.
So you just work all day, every day.
Yes, we did.
When you go to the gym, you're still working.
Oh, yeah.
Still a bit like now, to be fair, but we had that limit on it. It was, I think we just hit our burnout for sure. I think
what did you do to overcome the burnout?
Moved to Dubai.
Looking at all of your jobs you've done, do you feel like your career path helped shape your discipline and fitness mindset today?
Yeah. Yeah. The fag picker up one, that's the one that took me to that next level. No, I think actually the block paving.
Sorry, the fag belt one got me.
Yeah, that was mind-numbing, that one. Yeah.
I can't imagine you doing that.
Yeah, I actually had one of those things, that picks them up there, puts it in the black bag, and then it was like wind would be blowing everywhere, and all the fag butts would be coming out, and I was like,
crying.
I've got to start again.
You know when you laugh and you cry so much?
Yeah.
That's me. And that is the end of our podcast, episode 6, talking shit for an hour. Just talking about the jobs that we've had and how we've made fitness fit our lifestyle and not the jobs fit our life.
Yeah, so if you want to hear any more shit, then drop us a like, subscribe, and comment with any more shit that you would like to hear.
We will see you in the next episode.